Hey gamers, Kyle back again. Another episode of Game Time, sort of a continuation from my previous video here on the channel where we reviewed kind of the Coleco Gemini made by Coleco Atari 2600 clone. Check out the previous video for that. I mentioned we'd be saving this video dedicated strictly to Ghost Manor. I'm not sure how this is going to show up. And I think it's a worthy game. It's kind of a strange, unique horror game, kind of rare to some extent. It's definitely different. Gameplay. It's one of those couple different screens. Each screen you're kind of doing something a little bit different. You'll be seeing a little bit of gameplay here, but it's a company made by Xonox, Xonox. It's the same thing forward and backwards. So kind of unique. You can always tell games from this company are always kind of weird shaped. They have these kind of big edges on the bottom of their cartridge, or top, depends on how you put it in. I guess it would be kind of the top cartridge, kind of a weird shaped one. A lot of their cartridges were like that, so kind of a weird one. Not a whole lot on the photo, just kind of a neat picture of a castle in the dark, and looks like maybe a tombstone or two. Basically says plays on Atari 2600 VCS consoles. Use joystick controllers. Turn off console when inserting the cartridge. Read instruction manual before starting playing. No instruction manuals, but it's an Atari 2600 game. It's pretty basic. It's not going to be too complicated, so we'll definitely give it a go. It's very notable too. I'll mention just a second here. Very notable for a couple reasons. Two things real quick, just boom boom before we start playing. Shout out to my good buddy Ramvox. I'll leave a link in the description to his channel below. Very much like this channel, very similar in many ways, only he's a lot more cooler, and if there's ever a Nice Guy Award on YouTube, he's definitely in the running, if not the winner of Nicest Guy on YouTube. He really is. But the interesting twist on his channel is he lives in Japan, so we get a nice Japanese perspective on game culture and game collecting. And he does these great pickup videos and chronicles, kind of what's been going on in his life. So highly recommend it. Again, check him out. It's just a super nice guy. He deserves as many subscriptions as he can get. It's really a great channel. And otherwise, the second thing, we're going to get to a level and a little bit later on in the video with Ghost Manor here. It's one of those Atari games, lots of flashing lights, so it's kind of weird, but if you do kind of suffer from seizures, from quick flashing lights, just a forewarning, there's going to be some of that just a little bit later in the video, so if you're kind of sensitive to that, you may just want to skip this video. I'll understand this time. So what can we do? Let's play Ghost Manor next here on Game Time. It's also a very unique Atari 2600 game, in where you can select which character you play as. You can either play as a boy or as a girl. I will show you how to switch between characters next as we start the game up. Oh, that's just frightening, isn't it? Okay, as I mentioned, you can switch between your characters. If you start the game and do nothing, you're just automatically going to play as the female character. I think a lot of people might find that confusing, or not that there's anything wrong with it, but the trick there is if you start the game on black and white on your Atari switch, you actually switch between the male and female character. Here I'm playing as the boy character, and that's just and a very interesting trick, I think, just switching between black and white switches your character. On that first stage, we were in a graveyard. We had to run into the ghost 25 times, I guess, to collect these 25 spheres or whatnot. On this one, we got to kind of shoot all the monsters and creatures that are flying around on top of the screen, all while avoiding this axe murderer here. You can see the bat right there. There we go, got him. Then we'll finish with this monstrosity. Now we're inside the manor, and we have to search through these coffins here. I'm assuming they're coffins. We're looking for crosses. And my apologies for anyone who might suffer from seizures if you haven't noticed by now. Feel free to just turn off this video and try again later. This is actually, I never had a problem with flashing lights or seizures or anything like that, but this is this is a little wild. I'll be the first to confess. So you want to not touch that. If you touch that, you're a goner. I'm going to go up the stairs. We found the cross there on the bottom floor, as you can see by our inventory up here. Nope. We'll try again when we get down here. What a wild lighting effect. Alright, we found that. Now we'll make our way to fight the evil ghost of the manor, I guess. Kind of the Dracula. The object is we need to get him in the... stab him in the back, or... And I never quite honestly figured out... Oh, that was a complete failure, by the way. I never quite figured out how to do it. But, somehow you get him in the back or something like that. So we'll reset the game here. I'll put it on, you know, color there, so we'll play as the girl this time. Definitely is one of the more unique Atari games. Like I said, pretty frightening for back in the day, you know, as scary as it can get. It's probably no Texas Chainsaw Massacre where you're chopping up kids with a chainsaw, but... It's a good horror game, nonetheless. Oh, almost got hit there. I'll find a spot where my spears can go all the way up. Oh, I walked right into that. We'll give it one more try here. Like I said, there's not a lot to the game. Once you defeat that shadowy ghost figure, you pretty much start the game over anyway, so... We'll go back to black and white. We'll play as the boy character. I'm not sure if it is the very first game to, you know, be able to select what character you play as or not, but it certainly is among the first. It's kind of interesting, you know, character select... Probably not something that's been done a lot before then, so unique in that aspect. I cannot get that last bat again. There we go. Now we're safe to get that guy. Ooh, just barely. Again, seizure warning for those who suffer from that. I'm not quite sure what were they thinking. That was close. I got stuck on the wall there. Oh dear. We tried. But anyway, that's Ghost Manor for the Atari 2600. I think pretty unique game and worth its own video just because of how unique it is, and definitely some video game history there in that you can select which character you play as. Definitely not something you see a whole lot of. Thanks everybody for watching and subscribing to this video, and we'll see you next time on Game Time.